You already know you should meditate. You have known for years. You have read the studies, downloaded the apps, and started, perhaps 3 or 4 times, only to quit within a week every time. This does not happen because you are lazy or too busy. It happens because the first time you actually sat still and looked at your own mind, it terrified you. That is the thing nobody tells you. Meditation does not feel peaceful in the beginning. It feels like chaos, and most people interpret that chaos as failure, so they stop. But what if that chaos isn't the problem? What if that chaos is exactly the point? We often think the problem lies in finding the right app, the right technique, or the right morning routine. We tell ourselves that if we just had better discipline, we would stick with it. But that isn't it. The real problem is that we have been sold a version of meditation that does not exist. The version where you sit down, clear your mind, feel a wave of inner peace wash over you, and emerge transformed. That is not meditation. That is a movie about meditation. Neuroscientist Dr. Richie Davidson has been studying the brains of meditators for decades, and what he found is almost the opposite of what we expect. When people first start meditating, anxiety actually increases during the first week. This isn't because something is going wrong. It is because for the first time, you are actually looking at what has been running in the background this whole time. The chaos was always there. You just weren't watching. Think about the last time you started a new workout program. During the first few sessions, your muscles burned. You were sore in places you forgot existed. If someone had told you that soreness meant you were doing it wrong, you would have quit. But you didn't quit because you understood the biology. The burn is the signal. The discomfort is the adaptation happening. Meditation works exactly the same way.
The anxiety you feel in the first week is the lactate of the mind. It is not a sign that you are broken or doing it wrong. It is a sign that your brain is being challenged in a way it hasn't been before. Davidson's research shows that just 5 minutes a day for 30 days can lead to a significant reduction in depression symptoms, anxiety, and stress markers, including a pro-inflammatory protein called IL-6. It creates measurable shifts in the brain's connectivity. These changes don't require an hour of silence in a Tibetan retreat. They come from 5 minutes of daily practice. You could do it while walking, washing dishes, or commuting. The format does not matter at this level. What matters is that you do it every day. So why don't we? The honest answer is something you should sit with for a moment. Sitting with yourself with no input, no task, and no output feels like disappearing. We have spent years building an identity around productivity, around solving things, and around being the person who figures it out and moves forward. Meditation asks you to do none of that. It asks you to just be there, without performing, producing, or proving anything to anyone, including yourself. For a mid-career professional, that is genuinely threatening. It is not because you are weak, but because you have built a reputation and a self-concept that runs on forward motion. To that person, stillness does not feel like rest. It feels like stopping. It feels like you might realize you have been running from something this whole time. That is not a meditation problem. It is an identity problem dressed up as a scheduling problem. When you are in your 30s or 40s, you are likely good at what you do. You have accumulated enough self-awareness to know your patterns, to know when you are avoiding something, and to know when you are telling yourself.
Because you monitor yourself constantly, filtering before you speak, editing before you act, and calculating risk before you move, you aren't experiencing presence, you are practicing management. At some point, all that management becomes exhausting. You feel capable but stuck, clear on what you should do, but somehow unable to do it. What Davidson calls stickiness, that phenomenon where yesterday's emotions bleed into today's decisions, is not a personality flaw. It is an unmanaged nervous system. You cannot think your way out of it because thinking is part of the problem. You do not need more information or a better strategy. You need 5 minutes to stop managing yourself and just observe what is actually there. That is the whole intervention. The practical move is not a framework or a system, but one simple thing. Pick the smallest amount of time you can genuinely commit to every single day. Not the amount you think you should do, but the amount you will actually do. Whether it is 5 minutes or 2 minutes, attach it to something you already do. Eating, walking to your car, or that first cup of coffee before anyone else is awake. Do not add it to your calendar as a task to complete. Attach it to a moment that already belongs to you. When you sit down, stand, or walk, and the anxiety comes up, do not run from it or try to fix it. Just notice it and name it quietly. There is the anxiety. That moment of noticing is meta-awareness. That is the skill that changes the nervous system over time. It is not the silence or the peace that matters, it is the noticing. The question